I'm going to be doing my NFL playoff predictions January 11th. 2 games on Saturday. Starting with the first game is the number 5 seed in the AFC, the LA Chargers, heading to take on the number 4 seed Houston Texans in Houston. That game will be at 4:30 p.m. on CBS and Paramount Plus. In that one, I have the away team. I have the LA Chargers going into Houston and winning that game over there. Coach Harbaugh's done a tremendous job transforming this Chargers team. I think he might be, the leader or the man at the helm that they've needed for a while now. And I think they're going to pick up a big playoff win here in Houston. Then the second game that Saturday, we have a big division showdown between the number 6 seeded Pittsburgh Steelers as they head into Baltimore, face off against their ultimate rivals, the number 3 seeded Baltimore Ravens. I'm a big Mike Tomlin guy. I usually never go against Mike Tomlin. Unfortunately, though, how the Steelers have ended the season, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, I have very low confidence that they could win this game in Baltimore. Obviously, crazier things have happened. Sometimes in division games, like, they're super unpredictable, and you never know what could happen. But with that said, I'm picking the Ravens. The Ravens right now, I'm not a huge believer in them. I haven't been in playoffs, but they're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Derrick Henry, I think in the playoffs, obviously he's made a tremendous impact already in the regular season, but I think in the playoffs, he could be that game changer that they've needed. And also their defense, led by first-year defensive coordinator Zachary Orr, they've gotten better as the seasons progress. There was a time there where it was kind of weird because everyone's so used to that Ravens defense being so elite. And for a good chunk of the season, they looked really bad. But you got to give them credit. They've adjusted. I don't know what they've done specifically, but they've gotten better on defense. So, yeah, on that Saturday, I have the Harbaugh brothers coming out victorious. Then on Sunday, we start off at 1 p.m. Eastern time. The number 7 seed in the AFC, the Denver Broncos, with rookie quarterback Bo Nix and second-year Bronco coach Sean Payton, head into Buffalo, take on the 2-seeded Buffalo Bills, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS Paramount Plus. I forgot to mention the Steelers-Baltimore game will be on Prime Video. So to go back to the Broncos-Buffalo Bills, I have the Bills winning this one. Obviously, the Broncos have been one of the best stories in the league. I think Sean Payton should very much be considered for Coach of the Year. I think he's done a tremendous job. What a turnaround it's been in such a short amount of time with a rookie quarterback, the 6th quarterback taken in this past April's draft. And, it's been an amazing season for the Denver Broncos. Their defense is so damn good, super underrated, and young. They're building something there. Obviously, everyone knows Pat Surtain, one of the best corners in the league. But then Nick Bonito, the defensive end, he's had a rise to stardom this year. I was trying to find the words. Even their offseason addition of Brandon Jones, a former Dolphin safety, he's made a tremendous impact. He's super young. He's 4th or 5th year. So the Broncos are not just building for now, but I think they could build something long-term here. With that said, I am picking Buffalo. I just think the experience is really going to be the main factor. The playing in Buffalo in front of Bills Mafia, I think the Bills will take care of this one. And then the following game on Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox and Fox Deportes. Number 7 Green Bay Packers go to number 2 Philadelphia Eagles. And in this one, I have Philly going in. My original predictions for the season, my Super Bowl matchup was the Dolphins beating the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, Green Bay, they've had a tremendous season. Unfortunately, the last couple of weeks, they've kind of struggled. They've had, some injuries here and there. Jordan Love's going to play but he's kind of 50-50. I know Christian Watson is not playing. And I just think the Eagles are more of a complete team right now. They've been a big surprise for me in terms of how dominant they've been. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, he's arguably been the best player in all of football this year. And I think the Eagles will come out victorious in this wild card matchup. Then the final game, Sunday Night Football. I can't wait for this one. This might be the game I'm most excited for. The number 6 seeded Washington Commanders, a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and new coach Dan Quinn head into Tampa Bay, take on Baker Mayfield and the 3 seeded Buccaneers in Tampa. Sunday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC Peacock. And I can't wait for this one. I think this game's going to be amazing. I have Tampa winning. I'm a huge believer in Baker and a huge believer in the Bucs as a whole. They've had a lot of injuries, a lot of adversity this year. And what they do time and time again is continue to bounce back and find a way to keep going and getting better. Then for the final matchup of Wild Card Weekend, Monday Night Football, we have the 5-seeded Minnesota Vikings heading into Los Angeles to take on the LA Rams. I have the Rams winning this one. I know most people have Minnesota, but I'm a huge believer in the Rams, especially in the playoffs. Early on this year, they did struggle record-wise, but it was majority because their offensive weapons were missing. They had 3 offensive linemen who were out and not playing, 3 starting offensive linemen. Their defense is full of majority of rookies. They have a brand new defensive coordinator in Chris Shula, the grandson of Coach Don Shula. And, as the season went on, they got their pieces back. They got Puka Nacua back. They got Cooper Kupp back. Their offensive line, they got some of those guys back. And the guys that were struggling early on, they've improved as the season's gone on. And most importantly, their defense, full of all these young guys, has continued to get better as the season's progressed. So I just feel in the playoffs, I'm more confident in the Rams than in the Vikings. I think the Rams are more ready for the playoffs right now. Perhaps, we'll see what happens. I know most people are gonna favor Minnesota, but they've had a dominant season, and I'm not taking that away from them. They've been one of the most, surprising teams this year. One of the best stories in football, just like the Denver Broncos, who I mentioned recently. But I do have the LA Rams winning this one. And then now let me open this up. We move on now to the second round. We'll start off here, the divisional round. We have the LA Chargers heading into Kansas City, take on the Chiefs. I have Kansas City winning that game. Then our second divisional matchup in the AFC, we have the Baltimore Ravens heading into Buffalo, take on the Bills. I have the Baltimore Ravens actually, which I didn't expect this, but I did these predictions right before I recorded. I went with my gut. I would typically go with Pittsburgh. I'd go with Buffalo, but this Ravens team is looking different than in past years, and I think Derrick Henry is one of the main reasons. And as I said before, I think the Ravens they found what they had to change on the defense side of the ball. So in the AFC Championship, we have the Baltimore Ravens heading into Arrowhead to take on the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, and I have the Chiefs once again making it to the Super Bowl. Now on the NFC side, divisional round, we have the LA Rams heading into Detroit, take on the 1-seeded Detroit Lions. I have actually the Rams winning this one. As I said, I'm a big believer of the Rams, especially I think they're specifically made to thrive best in the playoffs. Not to take away from Detroit, they've obviously been arguably the best team in football this year. They've had an amazing season. They have 6 starters out on their defense, and they continue to push forward and look great on defense. So I understand people have them as their Super Bowl pick. A lot of people do, but I just believe more in the Rams right now than I do in the Lions. Then the other matchup in the division around here, we have Tampa Bay heading into Philadelphia, take on the Eagles, and I have Tampa Bay once again winning another playoff game. Last year they came up just short as they narrowly lost to the Detroit Lions, but I think this year Baker and the Bucs will get back to the NFC Championship. In the NFC Championship, I think we have a matchup that most people wouldn't expect, but I just believe in both of these teams so highly. We have the LA Rams taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa, and I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers reaching the Super Bowl. So we got a little rematch. Remember Tom Brady and the Bucs beat Mahomes and the Chiefs, but this time I have the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes defeating Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucs in the Super Bowl. And with that said, I have a specific gut feeling prediction here for the Super Bowl as to how the game will end. I think the game, Kansas City will seal the first three-peat in NFL history. With a minute 31 left, I think George Karlaftis, the outstanding pass rusher, will sack Baker Mayfield and therefore lead the Chiefs to taking a couple kneel downs and becoming the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowls. And with that said, I have George Karlaftis actually being not only sealing the deal for the Chiefs, but being the Super Bowl MVP. I have him finishing the game with 3.5 sacks. So yeah, guys, those are my predictions for the NFL playoffs. I'm super excited.